All right. I think so. We are live, everyone. So, hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Let's see. Yes. Hi, Fearless. Hi, Pravesh. All right. So, first things first, can everyone hear me? And can everyone see my screen as well? Just give me a second, guys. I just want to see if. All right. Okay, great. Yes. All right. Yes. So, okay, everyone can see my screen and everyone can hear me, right? Yes, great. So, hello everyone, and welcome to AccioJob's masterclass. And in this particular masterclass, what we'll be doing is we'll be making the Facebook clone. Right now, I think everybody knows what Facebook is, right? It is the largest social media company that is there. Now, it has a parent company known as Meta. So, I think everybody knows about Meta, right? And about Facebook, to be very honest. So, today we will be building the Facebook UI, right? So if you go to the description of this YouTube video, you will see that I've given you guys two things. So there's the Figma link and there's the source code, right? So first tell me how many of you guys know what Figma is and how many of you guys know what source code is. So I've given you guys a GitHub link, and what that means is all of what I'm about to code today will be uploaded over here, right? We'll have two files. We'll have index.html and we'll have styles.css, right? Exactly. So Fearless is right and VSS technology is also right. We'll only be using HTML and CSS. No JavaScript is required, and we will be building the Facebook clone. Right over here, if you guys go, you guys will be able to see that I've already made a sort of a template for you guys to follow. So here is your HTML template, and here's your styles of CSS. And in the styles, I've already imported the fonts as well, right? And all of these assets I've already given you guys as well, right? So all of the icons, all of the images that we'll be using today, I have already provided with you guys, right? So at the end of the day, all that you guys need to do now is just sit back, relax, and try to learn with me, right? You guys don't specifically have to code along. Since this is a YouTube video, you guys can come back again and watch the recording. You guys will be given the source code as well, right? So I will actually insist that you guys don't really, code along with me. Rather, just sit back, watch, and ask any doubts that you guys have, right? And I would really appreciate it if you guys were as interactive as you guys can be, right? So that's about it. And speaking of who I am, right, for those of you guys who have just joined, because I know that people are still joining. So I'm Avi Vashisht. I am an SD at AccioJob and also an instructor at AccioJob. And this is actually not my first live, right? If you guys go ahead to AccioJob's YouTube channel, right? And if you just click on this playlist section or the live section, right? Let's go to the playlist section. You'll see that there are a lot of project videos just like this, right? So if you want to make React projects, if you want to make full stack React projects, if you want to make projects like Zomato clone, make a podcast platform, if you want to build a portfolio website, right? If you want to make a finance tracker, cryptocurrency tracker, Netflix clone, all of these playlists are already there, right? So if you're interested in learning and if you want to, start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, whatever, right? This is the place that you guys can definitely come and learn, right? And there is a playlist for our projects, right? Let me just scroll down to that. Over here, if you see, uh, in this project building this thing playlist, you guys will see that we've actually made a lot of exciting projects, right? So there's also the calculator app, there's also the Mario game, quiz app, snake games, right? Spotify clone, Instagram clone. So yes, exactly, Fearless. So a lot of projects are available in this playlist, right? So after you are done making the Facebook clone, might as well go and watch these videos again. Inside every playlist, the source code has been provided, right? I'm pretty sure over here you will see the GitHub link is provided, right? So if the GitHub link is there, you guys already have the code there. So all you need to do is just understand the code and then go ahead and make this website, right? Okay. So without any further ado, let's get started by making the Facebook clone. So first things first, I want everyone to write a +1 in the chats, right? Everyone quickly write a +1 in the chat so that we can get started. Just write a +1 or a yes, you are excited, anything to show that you guys are excited. All right. Yes, thank you, Fearless. Thank you, Yakshit Raghav. And Fearless is saying yes, awesome. So I see that a lot of you guys are. Sapan is also there. Thanks for joining, Sapan. And all right, awesome. So, guys, let's just get started by first discussing how we're going to make the website, right? Obviously, this is the main Facebook page. If you guys want to see, I can bring over my page as well. But then again, it obviously has my personal contact, so I won't really be showing this a lot. But as you guys can see, this is the Facebook UI that is there, right? So the way I look at it is that the Facebook UI has been divided into three parts, right? Now, what are those three parts? The three parts is this left side, the middle side, and the right side. So even our code will have three divs. It has three containers, three boxes: the left div, the right div, and the center div. How many of you guys agree? At the end of the day, all that the Facebook clone really is, right? Just a second, let me show this to you guys. So there are three parts. One is this, then you have the middle part, and then you have the third part. How many of you guys agree? Do you guys see the three boxes that are there? Awesome, Pravesh. Thank you, Aruni, and thank you, Jyoti. Right. So our goal for the day is first to make these three containers, and once we make these three containers, what other thing that we need to do is we need to fix these two, right? Because if you start scrolling Facebook's website, you will see that only the middle part is scrollable. This part and this part, right, the left side and the right side, are somewhat fixed to the screen. So that there comes our second part. That is, we need to make sure that the left side and the right side are fixed on the screen, and the middle part is scrollable, right? And to do that, that is actually very, very simple. Trust me, that is very simple, right? Okay. So, is everyone ready? Shall we get started by coding this out? Yes. So, let me also explain the code to you guys. Obviously, I hope that you guys have worked with VS Code. If you guys have not, then what you need to understand is that I'll be coding using VS Code. It is just an application which allows you to code, right? And nothing else. At the end of the day, you can use any application to code, but VS Code is obviously the best out there. So, that's why we'll be using VS Code. And with VS Code, there comes this extension, right? Which is, I think, called Go Live or something like that. Let me see what live server, I feel. It's called live server. So what this live server allows you to do is it basically shows up this Go Live button, right? And once you click this Go Live button, whatever your website is, it becomes live, right? So do you guys see how this is the true facebook.com page and this is our index.html page? And you guys see the setup that I've done? I've already added the logo on the top bar. This is called a fav icon, right? I've already added the fav icon and I've already added the name. So you guys can see the difference, yet these two seem pretty similar, right? So this is what today's class is going to be about. It's going to be about making the Facebook clone, and we'll try to make it as we'll try to keep it as real as we can. We'll try to make it exactly the same as this particular UI right here. Apart from the header, I didn't really want to waste time on the header, right? So since this class is meant to be a class for beginners, so even if you guys have zero understanding of what HTML is, CSS is, we will still help you guys through it, right? Another thing that I wanted to let you guys know was another little piece of, you can call, basics that I wanted everyone to be aware of was that what is HTML and what is CSS. HTML is the building blocks of a website and CSS is the beautification part. So you can say that when we're building a house, HTML is the laying of the bricks, making the walls and everything, and CSS is the coloring the walls, painting the ceiling, putting down the tiles on the floor, the beautification of a house, right? So HTML is the bricks and the walls and the pillars of a house, and CSS is the beautification of that house, right? So HTML will be the structuring of the website, whereas CSS will be your styling of the website, right? So let's just get started, guys, and let's get started by making this. So first things first, currently if you come to the Facebook page, you just see this particular icon, right? The reason why I've added these icons is because I feel we will be needing icons. So we are using feather icons for icons, right? I personally really like feather icons. They have the cleanest icons that are there, right? So any icon that you want, guys, let's say you're making a home, you need a home icon, you need a user icon, you need a tick icon, right? Or correct, I think, or done. Mm, check, I think it's called, yes, check, right? If you need a tick icon, anything that you want is over here, right? So we will be trying, if there is any icon that we'll be using, like over here I know for a fact that there is this downwards arrow icon, right? There's this cross icon, there are these icons, there is this icon, the search bar icon. So for these icons we're going to stick to feather, and I'll teach you guys how to use feather icons as well, right? And yeah, so I have added a feather icon over here. So for now, let me just comment this out and we can get started, right? If you want, I can bring this down also and comment it out and keep it commented. All right. So again, just to make things clear, we just have our index.html, right? And we have a styles.css. That's about it. In the styles, we'll be styling it, we'll be coloring it, making it beautiful. In the index.html, we are just uh, putting the layout, right? So what you need to understand is, whenever we make an HTML website, everything is a box. Like right now, the way I have divided this design is in three boxes. Then these three boxes have multiple smaller boxes inside of them. Look at this, right? Do you see how this is a small box? This is a small box. This is a small box. This is a small box. Right. So what you need to understand is that every big box has smaller boxes. This is a box, right? Then this is also a box, right? Similarly over here, these are all boxes, correct? So everything that you see on an HTML website or on any website is actually made up of a lot of boxes, and that is the very basic level of building websites, right? Like you can say that atoms and molecules are the basics of chemistry, of science, right? Everything is an atom at the end of the day, right? Anything that you interact with is probably an atom or a molecule or whatever, right? So just like that, at the very basic level, what a website boils down to is just boxes. There will be some large boxes. Inside of them large boxes, we'll have smaller boxes. Inside of those smaller boxes, you will again have even smaller boxes. For example, even this small box still has two smaller boxes, right? And what are those two smaller boxes? One is this name and the other is this image. Do you guys agree or do you guys not agree? So at the end of the day, everything, right? Yellow is not that visible. Let me do green. Good afternoon, Shobna. So at the end of the day, guys, every big box comes down to a smaller box, and that small box also has a smaller box, right? And this will go on and on everywhere, right? Even over here, you will see that there is one small box, another small box, another small box. So at the end of the day, the building block of HTML or building block of websites is making these boxes. And what are these boxes called? These boxes are called as divs, right? One div is one box. So when I do this, I'm saying I'm making three boxes. This is the starting of that box, and this is the ending. The starting, the ending, the starting, and the ending. So right now, my goal is that I will be naming these boxes, right? Similar to I will be naming that, this wall behind me is the back wall. This wall in front of me is the front wall. This is the wall on my right. This is the wall on my left. So just like I would name walls in general, right? I will be naming these boxes. I will say, let's say the first box is my left container. The last box is my right container, and the one in the middle is my middle container. So what does that mean? Now I have made three boxes, three containers, left, right, and middle. And that was our goal. Left box, right box, right, and the middle box. Are you guys with me, guys? Please leave a +1 if you guys are with me. Leave a +1 if you guys are with me, guys. Harshit says +1. Harshit says +1. Awesome. All right. So, guys, let's get started with the styling of it, right? What you need to understand is, let's say I say hello, I'll name these things as left, right. I'll say middle, and I will say right. So Shaker, just try to understand with me, right? You will understand this in a little while, right? So don't worry, just stick with me. So right now, if you see, we have made the left, middle, and right. I've given them class names. What are class names? Are basically names that you're giving. Like your name is Shaker, my name is Avi, Kushpi just said +1, right? So everyone has a name. So even these boxes, we're going to name these boxes. I'll call this box as left box, left container, middle container, right container, right? Right now, if you see, by default in HTML, everything is one below the other. Left, middle, and right are one below the other. But what do we want? We want them to be left, right, and middle, right? In a horizontal manner, not in a vertical manner. Right now, they're in a vertical manner. So how do we fix that? We will fix that using our CSS now, right? Okay. So I'm going to take this name and I'm going to say dot this name. Now the best part is, guys, that I can give it any styling. I can say width is equal to, let's say, something like 500 pixels, and I can say height is equal to something like 500 pixels, right? Background color is equal to, let's say, red. So what do you think I've given? I've said that this box has a height of 500, has a width of 500, and background color of red. So what really happens when you give same width and height? It becomes a square. As you guys can see, the left div is a square now. So whatever I want to style, I will say dot and I'll give it the class name. If I want to similarly make my right container, I will say my right container is what? I will say it has a width of, let's say, 300, and it is blue, right? Okay, so let me zoom in. Is this better, Shaker? I have zoomed in my screen, guys. Now I think it should be better. Is this better? All right. So yes, so now what I've done is, Shekhar, I have added a the right container was already there. I've given it a style, right? I've said that this is blue in color. Then there is the left container which is red in color. So what will happen? Right container is blue, left container is red, and this is the middle container. Let me make the middle container as yellow, right? Let me say this middle container is, let's say, yellow, right? And let me say 400. So left is the largest, 500. Middle is 400, right is 300, and red, yellow, blue. So what will I see is, okay, so the spelling was off. Right now, this was named as middler container. So this name is different, this name is different, right? I will have to make the name same. So left, middle, right are red, yellow, and blue, but they're still vertical. How do I make them horizontal? To make things horizontal, there's a very simple property that you need to give to the parent. You just say display flex. And the moment you say display flex, it all becomes horizontal. But right now, it is horizontal to the left. What we would want it? We want it to be centered. So to center it, all you say is just justify content center. So it justifies the content to the center of the screen. So now left, middle, right are at the center. Right now, look at the cool part. If I say space between, if I say justify content space between, and I say width is 100% of the screen, 100 view width. 100 view width means 100 view width. Whatever you see. Do you see how they are spaced between? Like there's left, middle, and right, but they are separated. Yes or no? So guys, this is how we'll be structuring our basic website. And let me now make these things a little better for you guys. Height I'm going to keep as 100 view width. 100 VH means view height. So whatever is the height of the screen, right? So the height of the left container will be 100 VUH, height of the right container will be 100 VUH. So my left and my right are on the either sides of the screen and full height, and the middle is in the middle. Now, do you guys see how we have somewhat made the structure left, right, middle? Do you guys agree with me? Obviously it looks like the I think red and blue and white looks like the flag of France. Yellow, I don't know why I added, but at least we have something, right? So do you guys want to move ahead? Can Shaker, can you slowly see how this how we are building the Facebook clone bit by bit? Right, don't worry about the code, understand the logic. See, coding is something that actually, I will not lie to you guys, you won't be able to learn in just an hour. Right, this Facebook loan is supposed to be under 90 minutes. Right, so we just have what, an hour left, right? So understanding everything in HTML is not possible in 1 hour. It will take you some days, I will say. Right, I won't say it will take decades, months, years, but some days at least, right? A week, 2 weeks at least. But the goal for this masterclass is to help you guys understand the logic behind making websites. How do you actually make websites? So what I did was I started breaking the website down bit by bit. I said that I will be needing three divs, left, middle, right. And that is what I did. How did I do it? I made three boxes, right? I made three big boxes, left container, middle container, right container. And then I took their names and I styled them accordingly. Right. And that's particularly it. How many of you guys agree with this? How many of you guys are getting a slight hint of, how websites are actually built? So now, Fearless, what we're going to do is we are actually going to now obviously get rid of the colors, but I'll get rid of the colors at the end. Let me first make the structure. So now one thing that you guys need to know is this thing is a little complicated. The fact that, only the middle part should scroll and nothing else should scroll. How do we make that happen? Now, to make that happen, what you need to understand is that I will be fixing the left container and the right container. I will see that these two are fixed, right? These two are fixed at all costs. So how do I do that? I will just say display fix, position fixed, right? The moment I say position fixed, this will be fixed now, right? Look at this. You will see that, oh, I see nothing has changed. Ideally, my yellow has technically gone inside. So to fix that, what will I do is I'll say center only over here, right? I will fix the left container and I will fix the right container, right? Shaker, don't worry, right? If even if you're a fresher and your background is not from tech, that is why AccioJob is there, right? Okay, so Ayush, the line number 10 is just saying that the width of my HTML body, the entire body of my HTML, should be 100 view width. VW means view width. So it means 100% of the screen. All right. Okay. Now, guys, I'll just say right is 0. Okay. And over here, I will say left is 0. Just a second. You guys will all understand this in 1 second. Okay. Now, what I will do is I will just increase the height of this thing. Guys, just give me 5-10 minutes. I will explain everything. Right now, I understand that you guys are all freshers. It will be very tough for you guys to understand this. But do not worry about understanding the code. Try to understand the basics of, the logic that I'm talking about. Right? Has everyone understood why we are doing what we're doing? Left, middle, right. The middle container should be scrollable. The rest too should be fixed. Like I'm scrolling the middle, only the middle is scrolling. Nothing else is scrolling. And that is what we are doing now. So how did I do this? I said that the left container is fixed to the left side of the screen, right container is fixed to the right side, the middle container is centered. Okay. So I said display flex 100% of the width was important. Content is center and height I just made 300 so that it can scroll. Otherwise I didn't need to. Right, left is 300 100 height, right is 300 100 height, background color is blue, background color is red, position fixed left 0, position fixed right 0. When I say right 0, it means that leave a gap of 0 on the right. If I said right 10, it will leave a gap of 10. Right, if I say right 100, it will leave a gap of 100 from the right. So when I say right 0, I'm saying that attach yourself to the right side of the screen. When I say left 0, I'm saying attach yourself to the left side of the screen. So the left is fixed now, the right is fixed now, only the middle part is with what is scrollable. And that is what we have done. right now. How many of you guys have understood this? Again, don't worry about the code. Tell me the logical part. Right? Forget about the code right now, guys. Ayush, that is also possible. That is a very good question, Ayush. If I say minus 100, do you see how it went to the, like this thing was visible, right? Look at this. When it is 0, I can see left written. I can see left written when it is 0. The moment I shift it, I don't see left written anymore. And this is obviously thicker than this, right? If I do 300, what will happen? I don't see it at all. Why? The width was 300. I took it to the left of by 300, right? So minus is also possible. Okay, if I do minus, then it will just go out of the screen, and we don't want that to happen. All right. Yes, very cool, Ayush. I agree. Cool indeed. So, guys, shall we move ahead now? Let's start by making the left side of the page. Right. So, what I would like to do is, I would first like to just give the middle container a little more width, something like this, I think would be cooler, right? Because now, yeah, something like this is nice, right? So width is 800, height is, I will make height as 100 VH only so that we can understand the entire page, right? And in fact, I'll just make height as auto only. Let me see, the min height is 100 VH. So this will mean that the height can, minimum height of the middle container is 100, but it can go forward, it can increase, right? So first things first, let me get rid of all the colors now. And what I will do is I'll add a, okay, there's not even a border over here. All right, let's just keep the color as it is for a bit. And let's worry about making this first. Right, how do I make this? Now to make this, first, let me actually get rid of the color for our left side at least. Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the concept of padding. Padding is the inner spacing. Do you see this? If the padding is 0, left is attached to the left. But if I give it a padding of, let's say, 16 pixels, do you see how there's a spacing now? So what has happened is basically that I've given it a padding, right? If I increase this padding, just look at what is happening on here, over here. Do you see that padding just means that there will be a space, like a thickness inside, right? Do you see this? Does everyone see the brown border that is increasing when I'm increasing the padding? Yes. So padding is just the thickness inside. So you are saying that my content will be will not be attached to the screen completely. It will have some spacing. So it is very necessary that we give padding in general. Padding is for the spacing inside a box, right? Just inside a box. Like for example, over here, do you see how there's a gap? Do you see that there is this thickness over here? Some gap is left over here, some gap is left over here. So this is because of your padding. All right. Anyway, so we have given it a padding. What I will do is I'll get rid of these colors now. They are annoying me a little. So let's get rid of the colors. Left, middle, right, and I've given a padding to everyone. Now, first things first, what I will do is I'll make a smaller box, right? Why am I making a smaller box? Because this thing is a box, as you guys can see, which has an image and some text. So this box will have an image, right? And it will have some text. So let's say my name is over here. So if you want to write some text, you will say P stands for paragraph. If you want to make an image, you will say image, IMG, right? Now, obviously, I won't get my image. We can get, let's say, Iron Man's image, right? Any cool image, let's say this image, we can get, right? So what I will do is I will click on copy image address, right? You guys can take any image that you want. Let's say I can do AccioJob logo also, right? any image that you want, just go over here, right, and just click it and say copy image address, right? You can even get Tony Stark's. Let's say we are building Tony Stark's profile, right? Anything, any image that you want, you guys can take. Just click on this copy image address, right? Don't copy image, copy image address. Then you take that address and you put it over here, right? So what I've done is I've copied the image address and I've put it over here. The moment I do this, you will see that in my screen I see that image, right? This image is there. Now obviously I will have to style this, so I'll give this a name and I'll say icon, let's say, right? Over here I will give this the name of icon flex, right? And over here I'll give this the name as text. So now what I have is I have dot icon flex, right? Now since I explained to you guys that flex is what allows us to put show rows, show things horizontally, right? So I will do this. I will say I won't really do anything over here, and just I'll give it a little gap, right? Then over here I'm going to say dot icon. I'm going to give it a very simple width of something like 48 pixels. Height will be 48 pixels. Border radius will be 50%. So border radius is what allows me to make things circular, right? If I give it a 50% radius, it means that it is a complete circle, right? And dot text, and what will I be making my text look like? So currently it looks like this, right? So I will maybe decrease the size of this image a little, maybe something like 32, right? 32 is too less. 38, let's say, that will be nice. Yes, 38 is nice. I will give it a little more gap, right? And the text, let's change it to font size is, let's say, 16 pixels, and font weight is this. And the text was a little gray. No, the text was this thing only. Cool. I think so. This looks pretty nice, right? Okay. So now, as you guys can see, I've made this icon flex already, right? Now the only thing is when I hover over this, I see this sort of a dark gray background. So now how do we do that? So firstly, to do that, I will have to bring in the color of this dark gray, this thing, right? So how do I bring the color? I will first take a screenshot quickly, right? And I will use this app that I have to pick the exact color. So this is the exact color. Okay. Now what I will do is I will give this a width of 100%, right? I will give this another padding of, let's say, 12 pixels at least. Border radius, I'll give this as 10 pixels. I know right now, guys, I've quickly started coding a lot, but trust me, just pay attention a little and it will all make sense, right? And I'm giving it a hover animation. So what is this hover called? The hover is basically when I'm moving my mouse over something, then it does something, right? So the hover animation I've added, and the animation will be this color. So now if I go, you will actually see that when I bring my mouse over, it looks like this, right? And I think what I can do is I can reduce the horizontal padding. I think this looks very similar to what we have over here. Yes, guys, and that is all. Now, apart from this, you have all of these icons. So all of these I've already added in your assets. So all you need to do, guys, is just copy this thing. So understand that we are still okay. Manish, I will explain everything, guys. Just pay attention a little. So we are inside our left container, and our icon flex is this particular box. This box has one image, one text, and this is a horizontal box. Right? To make this box a horizontal box, we added flex. Right? I added a gap because I wanted to add a gap between these two images, this image and this text, and that is about it. Now all we need to do is just copy paste this code. The more times I copy paste this code, the more times I will see this thing. And now every time, all I need to do is I just need to change the image and I need to change the text. So what is the second icon? Second icon is find friends, right? So over here I'll write find friends in my assets, you will see that I've actually added a lot of icons, right? So let's just find the icon for friends. I think it is people or it is users. Let's see. Mm, this, right? Let me say find, right? So this is the find icon. So all I need to do over here is instead of this obviously image, I'll just say dot slash assets and find dot png, and that is all that I need to do to add this find friends, right? Next is memories. So over here I will say memories, right? And what is the memory icon? I think it's the clock icon. This clock icon, yes. So over here I'm going to say what? I'm going to say dot slash assets slash clock, and then I will see the clock icon. Yes, so I have my name, I have find friends, memories. Next will be saved and groups, right? Shaker says, "Sir, I don't understand anything. I'm here just because of you." Thank you so much, Shaker. I will tell you what is happening, right? So again, guys, all you need to understand is what we're doing is we're building things block by block, right? And Shekhar is saying that, sir, your explanation is nice, but I don't understand. It is fine, Shekhar. Just stay with me for another, I will say, 30 minutes, maximum 30 minutes, and it will all make sense, right? Because see, what we have done is we have made one big box which has many small boxes, and now we're just copying and pasting our code. Literally just copying and pasting. Now, Shekhar, tell me this. Over here, it is written saved, and this is my text. So I will just write saved over here. And from my images, I'll find the saved image, which is this one. Right? So now over here, all I need to do is just write saved. So this image is my saved icon, and this is my saved text. So over here, obviously, I will see saved as well. Right? So saved is done, memories is done, find friends is done. Now groups is left. Groups, video, and marketplace. So three times I will copy this. This will be for groups, marketplace, and video, right? So I will say groups, video, marketplace, right? Let's find the image now. So people is groups. I will say people. Then video. Video is, I think, this. Nope, this is not video. Let's see what is the video icon. Okay, just a video player. I think this is video. All right. So I'm going to say video over here, and marketplace is, I think, market only. Where is the marketplace? Shop, I think this. Right. So now over here you just need to say marketplace. Ayush, we won't be dealing with the navbar because the navbar will be a little complicated. So we are just dealing with the left, middle, and the right side. All right. So now if I share my screen, refresh my page, you will see that I see all the icons that I've added so far. Right. Let's just add a few more. So feeds, events, and ads manager. Right. So now tell me, I think Shekhar, only you tell me, what should I do? I want to add now feeds, events, and ads manager. So shall I just copy this three times? One for feeds, then for events, then for ads manager. Feeds, events, ads manager. What do you say, Shekhar? Yes. So I will now copy this three times, right? Paste it three times. Feeds. I write feed over here. Events and ads manager. So feeds, events, and ad manager. Ads manager. Right. And now all I need to do is get the logo. So I think feeds logo is this thing, feeds, right? So I'll just say slash feeds. Then events logo is calendar. I think this is events logo. So I'll say events, and ads manager is this. So I'll just say ads, right? And the moment I do this now and I refresh, you will see that I see uh, all the icons that are there. Right. So more or less, our left side is about to be done now. The only thing that is left is this, this, and this. So this is the same thing as I mean, we can get the icon for this also if you want to, whatever you want to do, we can do. If you just want the icon, you guys can get the icon. Otherwise, we can make it through the feather icons also. Then, right. Right now, I don't want to make things more complicated by introducing feather icons. So I will just skip this and let's draw the line. Now, how do you draw the line? To draw the line, all that you need to do is nothing but just say HR. And by default, only HR means as a line, right? Now, obviously, this line does not look the best. So, how do we make it look best? Instead of this, what we can also do is we can make another div and call this as our copyright div, right? So, now in our copyright div, I'll go back to my styles. So what have I done is I'm making a box now. All right. So this box I'm making as it is, and then I'm going to give it a border. So I'll just say dot copyright div has a border top of 1 pixel solid and of what color? This color only, right? And padding I'll give it this, and that's all. Right. So copyright div already has a border top. Now I'll just give it a text, and what will be the text called? The text will be called as your shortcuts. Now, since I've already given the name of text, I'm going to call this as text 2. All right. Now, in my text 2, I want to make it not look like this. I want to give it a little, I want to make it a little bolder. I want to add a different color. So I'll do those things only. I will say font size is 16, right? Or I can increase it a little, and I can say font weight. Weight is the thickness. 500 means a little thick, right? 500. And the color I will add as this color only. So now if I go over here, I see that this is way too light, way too light. So let me change the color. Let me get the color from here. I think I have the color over here. This is the color that we want. Okay. And this is slightly better. Great. Now, you remember I told you guys padding is the spacing inside. Before padding, I would like to add something known as margin. And I'll give margin as this thing. So margin is the spacing above, right? And padding, I'll just say padding this thing only, right? And that's it. In fact, I don't even need this much. I think I don't need padding at all. This is good enough, right? So your shortcuts is also done, and now the only thing is that is left is I will just go here and copy this again. I can flex and add it inside this div, right? And when I add it instead of this, I will write Tony underscore star, and I'll also add an at the rate sign. So now you see this, right? And as yeah, and that's about it. So just like that, our left side is now getting done. Now, before I start with the middle side, I would like to make the right side as well. And the right side, if you guys think about it, this part is very similar, right? So the right side is also very similar to this. Literally, it's the same thing. So all we need is basically whatever we wrote over here, we just paste it right on the right side also. So let me copy this copyright div and put it inside my right container, and let's see what we have. Once I do that, over here also we see the same thing, right? The only thing is we don't need the margin top, we don't need this, all of this. So obviously I'll name this something else, right? Technically I can get rid of this also, and this is it. Right, so left side is done, right side is also the same thing. Now I can just copy and paste this a lot of times, right, to get the desired result like we are getting the result over here. All right. This part is also the same, it's just that the icons are different. Right. This also we will make if time permits. Now, for now, I think the left side structure is done, the right side structure is done. Let's talk about the structure in the middle. How many of you guys are ready for the structure in the middle? If you want, we can change all of these things, guys. You guys can go and look for Chris Evans photo, right? We can copy this, right? And over here, make this as Chris Evans's photo. So you guys can keep on changing this, right? So all of these images you guys can change. Another thing is, as you guys can see, this image is now a little stretched. It does not look that good. So to make it look good, all we need to do is just say object fit contain or cover, and it looks perfect. All right, anyways. Okay, so the left side will come along now. The right side has, I mean, the left has already, right side will also come along. Let's worry about the middle part. Now let's try to understand what all does the middle part have. The middle part obviously has this story thing, right? How do we make the story thing? Okay, so now instead of this being, you remember how did we make boxes? We made boxes by naming the width and the height as the same, right? If I want to create the middle side, firstly, I don't need any text. I'll remove this and let me just make a story component. I'll just say story, right? If I go over here now, I'm just randomly giving it a width of, let's say, 100 pixels, randomly giving it a height of, let's say, 400 pixels, and background color of red. Do you see what we have? Now, obviously, this does not look the same. So I will give it a little more width of 200 and I'll reduce the height, right? I think the height should be also something like 300. Right now, if you look at it, it is looking a little similar, right? Still, it is not the exact dimensions. So if you want to get the exact dimensions, what you can do is you can just hover over it. You'll see it is 140 by 250. All right. So 140 by 250 is the exact parameter. Now, if I think about it, the size does look similar, but this has sharp edges. I need rounded edges. So to make anything rounded, we will use border radius. If I give it a radius of 10 pixels, it is a little rounded. If I give it a radius of 100 pixels, it is completely rounded like a capsule. So I think 10 pixels works well. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? Do you guys see the similarity? Now what you guys need to understand is that this image is in the background, because see, this text is in front, right? Ayush, it will take a lot of practice. Trust me, it will take a lot of practice. But what I can guarantee you is that to make this, all you need to do is just practice regularly, and that's it, right? Nobody's asking you to memorize. You can Google. So now see, what I'm doing is I'm just going to use logic, right? Logic says that this image is in the background and this text is above it. Does everyone agree? This image is in the background and this text is in front of it. Do you guys agree? Yes? So what we need to do is we need to set a background image. So let me just go over here. Let me, since the theme is anyways Tony Stark's, let me just say uh, Avengers poster, right? Let's just get any poster that we want, something which is vertical at least. Vertical. Let's say this. I will copy this image address. Guys, always remember to copy image addresses. Alright, always remember to copy image address. Okay. I've copied the image address. Now I will set this image as the background. So all I need to say is background image URL and this image, and that is it. The moment I do this, I see that okay, is some sort of image, but it does not look nice. Why is that? That is because of background sizing properties. So now, like Ayush said that, sir, how do you remember all of these things? I forget, right? So Ayush, even I have forgotten background image properties. So I'll just Google background image properties, go to CSS and see what I need to do, right? So now I know what I need to do is I need to just size it properly. So I'm going to say background image repeat is no repeat, right? The moment I add this, what will I say is that the image will not repeat itself, right? So the image is already not repeating. That is not an issue. Now what I want to say is I want to position it as center, and repeat is no repeat, and size is cover. So if I just add these things, if I just add these things, my image looks normal now. Okay, and now all that is there that I need to do is I will say this display flex direction I'll put as column because now we want it in column, and we want the text at the bottom, so I'm just going to say flex end, right? And I will say color is hashtag FFF, which is white. So now what will happen is over here I can just say P and I can just say Avengers story. Do you see this? And obviously I need a little padding, so I'll give it a little padding and I'll say 6 pixels. And in fact I'll get rid of this P tag. This much is good enough, right? And now I think actually I think I'll have to give it a P tag, this thing. And let me do it properly only. Let me say story text, right? And over here I'm going to say that dot story dash text. The padding is, margin is 0 pixels, padding is 6 pixels, and that's it. Or can I make the margin as 6 pixels and padding as nothing? Yes. All right. I don't understand. Then this is better. Okay. So even this is done. So now, if you want to make multiple stories, what do we need to do? Just copy the story component, right? And just have it multiple times. Now the thing is, this is again vertical, and we want it again horizontal. So guys, what was the thing that I told you how to make things horizontal? Only one answer is there. One very nice answer using flex. So what we need to do is we need to take these three, put it in a container which has display flex. So now all that we will do is we will just make a div, call it story flex, right? And over here, just copy this entire thing and put it inside. And story flex will be display flex, and just give it a gap of something like 24 pixels. Good enough, right? So Avenger story is now centered. I mean, is now in a horizontal row. Now, apart from this, we have this component that is left, and we have this component that is left, right? How do we make this component? Now, you guys can probably guess that this is the same icon flex that is there over here, right? Just the thing is, this is on the left side, this is centered. So we'll make it centered. It is very easy to do that. And this is also similar to this icon flex only because there's an icon and there's some text over here. And overall, there's a div, right? There's a box. So let's just call it as the post box, right? And over here, I'm going to name it. I'm going to say div, call it as post box. Right, now the post box will be given a padding of, let's say, 16 pixels, border radius of again something like 10 pixels, background color will be white, right? Box shadow will be given. So what is a box shadow? It is just a small little, do you see how there's a shadow over here? Just a depth effect is there, right? So we'll add that depth effect. I'll just go over here and I'll try to copy it from them only. What is their exact depth effect? Let's see, where have they added the box shadow? Hmm, I don't seem to see it over here. Hmm. So you guys can also get these box shadows, right? So I'll box shadow examples. So we can just choose any box shadow. I think this will do the most justice, right? And we'll just add that. Okay. So now if I go over here, this is how it looks. And I will have to give it a margin top of 16 pixels, or even I think 24 pixels. There. Right, I think this is not the best. Let's get a lighter version. Yes, I think this is better. This is what they have. Yes. Right, in fact, you can give this box shadow to your story component as well, just for that depth effect. Now there's a depth effect over here also. Right. Okay. So now what all do we need? Now all we need is that icon firstly, this icon and this. We know how to do that, right? So let me just say dot post icon flex, and this is all that I will do. Right, inside this I will have a div which will have a post icon flex. It will have an image. Obviously the image will basically be this icon only. This icon only. And now what we need is this. So this is idly some complicated modal which opens up and everything pop up, but over here we'll just have a simple search bar like this, right? Like this. So how do we do that? Now that is what we call as an input field. So over here we'll make a very simple input, right? And we will just, yes. So just look at what an input gives me. An input gives me this thing. It gives me the ability to write. Till now there was nothing that was giving me the ability to write. Only this has given me the ability to write. So how do I style this now? Now to style this, obviously we'll give it a name. I'll just say input text, something like that. I will also give it a placeholder, because what are placeholders? Placeholder is the text that you see when you don't have anything written, right? So something like what's on your mind. So do you see how we see what's on your mind is written now, and as soon as I start writing, it goes away. Now I just need to make this width as 100%. So I'll go take this input text and I'll make the width as 100%. The moment my width becomes 100%, you see how it has stretched all the way to the right, right? I will give it a padding. The moment I give it a padding, it becomes bigger. As you guys can see, it has become bigger, right? I will give it a border radius. The moment I give it a border radius, it becomes like a capsule, right? I will give it a font size of this 16 pixels so that it's a little larger. Even I'll make it a little more larger, like this, 18 pixels, right? I will reduce the padding of the top by something like this so that it looks cleaner, right? I need to get rid of the border, so I'm going to say border is 0 pixels, solid, and white. So now there is no border, but there's still this blue border. How do I get rid of this blue border? By saying dot input text dash focus, and now it's not there. Right, now all I need to add is a background color. And what will be the background color? It should be this. Yes, so now we successfully have something very similar to what now we have something very similar to what the what originally Facebook also has. Right, so it says what's on your mind, question comma question mark, comma avi question mark. So we can just say comma avi question mark. Right, okay, so even this is done. Now what all is technically left is for us to make this thing. So now how do we make this thing? We'll make a bottom container. Right, so over here I'm going to make a container again, call it bottom container. Right, now what you need to understand is this container is flex and it has a border top. So over here I'm just going to say dot bottom container display will be flex. Right, justify content is center, I can say. Gap is 16 pixels, I'll say. Padding is also, I don't need padding actually. And border top, this. So the moment I do this, you see that we do see everything. And I think for this, I can use this as the border color. I'm going to give it a margin top so that there's a little space at the top. Okay, so now we see a line, we see this text, and now all that I need to do is bring my icon flexes. Right, so again, I'll copy my icon flex and I'll bring it 3 times. So 3 icon flex like this. And the moment I do this, you see this. Now the only thing is that these icons are obviously I need to change. So what are the icons? The icons will be live video, photo video, feeling activity. So live video, then photo video, photo slash video, then feeling slash activity, feeling slash activity. Om Prakash, I'm really sorry I won't be able to speak in Hindi because see, this YouTube video will be watched by children or students from all across the country, right? So we need to make sure that we speak in English, which is the official language. And if you guys really end up becoming or going to corporate, and if you guys end up joining tech jobs, then you will have to converse in English. So just I will say that try to make it a habit to maybe understand code when it's being spoken in English. Right, I know it can be a little tricky, and I know that everybody is not comfortable in English, but if we want to someday work at big companies like Google or big companies like Facebook for that matter, right, we will have to learn English. I'm really sorry about that, but we will all have to. That's all. So now the icons will be first will be the photos icon, I think, live video icon, sorry, video icon. So over here I'll say video dash icon. Then over here I'll find the second icon, which is photo video, photos icon, this icon. Right, so I'll say photos icon. Then I will say reaction icon. Now if I go, you will see that these things are there. But still there is something off. That thing that is off is that the image size is too large, this is too big. We need to make it a little better. Now, how do we make it a little better? To do that, what I will do is I will say icon flex 2 everywhere, and I will say icon 2 as well. Right, so what we will do is over here we will make another icon flex 2, and display will be flex, justify content will be center. Right, and padding will be very minimal. Right, similarly dot icon 2 will be smaller, and that's all. So now do you see how this is slightly better? Right, and again now I think I can improve this, and gap also I can improve. And all I need to do now is just say dot icon flex to space hover this. Even I think instead of this, we can just give whatever input text we gave. Right, this is slightly better, and I think we can still get rid of this thing, and I can make text 2 also here, and text 2 I'll give margin as 0. Okay, this is better. Right, and I'll give it a padding overall. I'll give this thing a padding of 16 pixels overall, and here we have it. Right. I didn't say India, Kurti. I said of corporate at least, right? And English is the language of the courts, uh, courts and offices and everything all over the world, right? At least I think. Got it. Accio is also onboarding students from Africa. Yes, Kurti. So not only India, I agree. Accio is also onboarding students from outside of India also, and not only from Africa but outside of India as well, right? Anyways, so as you guys can see, we have also made this now. Right. Another thing that I would like to do is I would just like to say this has padding top there. Right. So we have even made this component. Exactly. Hello Shubham, how are you? So guys, how many of you guys have now are understanding what we did at the end of the day? So we started off with the left div, then we made the right div, then we made the story component, then we made this post component. Now the only thing that is left is making this component, which is actually the same thing as this thing if you think about it. Right. So how many of you guys have actually understood what we did over here? Please tell me. Because see, at the end of the day, this is what Facebook is actually about. Facebook clone is actually about. Because see, you guys saw how reusable the code is, right? The fact that we are able to copy code again and again is what makes the Facebook website's code very reusable, right? They don't really have a lot of complicated components. Their website is rather very simple, right? The left side is almost the same, the right side is almost the same. In the middle, this part is the same, this part is the same. And even if I show you, this entire component at the end of the day will be made from this component only. Like look over here, the comment section is this, right? This part, this part we have already done, right? Only we need to do this. Right, Fearless says, I think the right div is incomplete. Yes, the right div is a little incomplete. We can complete it quickly. So we need to add your pages and profiles and these three dots. So let's actually do that. So if I go over here, I'll just say your pages and profiles. Right, over here, I'm going to say div and I'm going to say text flex. Right, why did I say text flex? Because this text will be there and there will be an icon. If you guys remember, this is how we were getting our icons, right? So over here we will add our icon as well, right? So now if I go, you will see that I have your pages and an icon. So first I'll go to the text flex and I will make it a flex, right? And I will say justify content space between. When I say space between, they become separated. Now we will go and look for ellipses. This is the icon that we want, which is more horizontal, more dash horizontal. So I'll just go over here and I will say more dash horizontal. The moment I say this, you will see that I have three dots. So this icon is done, right? This part is done. This part is obviously the same as this thing. So I'll just let it be. I will just, instead of saying this, I will just say this, right? This part is done. I think add rate is not there at all. So let me get rid of add rate in general. Let me actually get rid of all of these. These are just unnecessary right now. Okay. So this is done. Your page and profiles, this is done. We need to add these icons, right? For them also we can use icon flex technically, or we can make a new flex. But at the end of the day, how do we get these icons? From Feather only. Let's just get a chatting icon. Chats, this icon, let's say message square. Right. So what are we going to do? We are going to make an icon flex. So I'm going to copy this message dash square. So I'm going to say message dash square, and what should be next to message square? Three messages. So I'll just say p tag, and over here I'll say three messages. Right. Now obviously the color and everything is something that we will have to fix, right? We will keep on fixing them later. Then we have user icon, switch to page. So I can make a user icon. So again, copy this, just say user and say switch to page. Right, so we have a user icon which says switch to page, and the third one is create promotion. So over here we will have to say mic or speaker. I think mic we're not going to be able to find over here. Yes, we won't be able to find mic over here. Okay, so for now, let's just use microphone only. And what is it? Create promotion. Marketing, is there something called for marketing? No, promotion is not there. Let's just take speaker. So just say speaker and promotion. Right, so we have promotion also over here. Oh, I actually, my bad. There. Right, now the thing is, yes, we can use font awesome also, QWERTY. We can also use, so font awesome is something that we can use, but I thought we would be done by using just this. So font awesome is also the same thing, guys. All you need to do is it'll give you something that you can add in your head tag, and you can use these icons then, right? So over here, I think if I say speaker, we will be able to find multiple icons. So mostly speaker is this only, but mm, we will have to find what that's called. Some microphone. That's not a microphone. It's called a speaker only. uh, Promotion, no, we don't see. Anyways, so yes, the left side is this, and obviously once after we do this, we need to make this thing only exactly. So I can just get my bottom container, if you remember, from here, and we can just add our bottom container over here. And once we do that, our bottom, sorry, not this bottom container, the bottom container copyright div. Yes, we just need to get the copyright div, and that's it. Right, and once we do this, then we can start replicating this and add as many as we want. Right, so that's all. So guys, what do you think about this Facebook clone? Did you guys enjoy making this Facebook clone? Because see, now the only part that is left is making this component, and I think you guys are capable of trying to make this component, because this thing is very similar to what we made over here, just without the hover effect, right? uh, this thing is very similar to that. Then you don't need to make this, you can just directly add some text, and that is all. Right, so that will actually complete your Facebook clone. Now, speaking about how do you show the world that you've made this Facebook clone, all you need to do is push everything on GitHub. Right, you guys can deploy using your GitHub only. So just push everything using GitHub. Right, once you do that, in your GitHub link, all of the code will be there. Make sure that your repository is public. Go to settings, go to pages, and just click on deploy from a branch. right? And click on save. Actually, click on main and then save. My bad. So the moment you click on main and save and you click on deploy from a branch, you will notice that there comes a orange dot. Now you just wait for this dot to get completed, right? Once this dot gets completed, your Facebook website would be deployed and you guys can share that link with everyone then, right? So let's just see what we get after this. We will get a link only, obviously. So I can go to my pages itself, right? So the job has been completed. Now it's deploying. If I go to my settings, pages again, over here I will see a page, right? I'll just have to refresh it in 2-3 minutes, and there we go. So if I go to this link, right? If I go to this link, I will actually see my entire Facebook clone that I built. Right? I will share this in the chats. Just a second. I will share this in the chats with you guys quickly. I don't see the chats option. Can I join the chats from here? No. But yeah, so all you need to do is deploy it using GitHub, and that's about it. Right? So this was our link. I'll tell you guys again. So all you had to do was just basically upload all of your files, make sure you have an index.html, go to settings, and now I can share the link over here. I've shared the link, guys, using my personal YouTube ID, but you guys can go and visit that link, right? And that will basically be this, whatever we have quoted. So, guys, just to quickly memorize all that we have done, we started complete the center part. Fearless, I think I will let you guys do the center part. I feel that is where the learning will actually happen. I want you guys to figure out how to do it, because all you need to use is this component, this component, this component again, and put some text, right? So I'm using Copilot for the AI suggestions that you see. Copilot works the best, but anyways. So guys, let me just quickly recap everything that we have done, right? So we started off by making this Facebook clone. We made an index.html page. We made a style.css. I have given you guys all the assets. The assets are in this GitHub repo. Now you will say, where is the GitHub repo? The YouTube live that you guys are seeing right now, right? So the YouTube live that you are seeing over here in the Figma itself, in the description itself, you'll see the Figma link and you'll see the source code. The Figma is basically where we have the design and we have the assets, right? If you guys want some more images, you guys can see there are a lot of icons that I got, right? And all of these icons I've already added. These are all the colors that Facebook uses itself, right? This is the Facebook logo, and these are the this was the different components that we made, right? Then we started by making the left side, we made it fixed, right side we made it fixed, and only the middle part is now scrollable. After making the left side, we made this icon flex. We are using again and again everywhere. This is used over here, everywhere icon flex is being used. Then we used all of these icons. Over here also we made an icon flex. We have an input where we can type anything. We have, this is also an icon flex, right? This is my main component. We added a depth effect. We added the story component. We have the right side. We used feather icons also. Everything is done, right? So I think that is all. And in under 90 minutes, guys, being able to make this is no less of an achievement. Trust me. All you guys need to do is now understand the code, right? Rewatch this video as many times as you want to. Rewatch all the other videos that are there. I can guarantee you guys there is much more exciting stuff that we have done, right? There's, apart from making clones, like I said, there are full-fledged React apps. There are full-fledged, apps which you apps involving full stack, Firebase, everything, right? There are, and not just me. If you get bored by just watching my videos, you can see Jayesh's videos also, right? Jayesh is also an instructor at AccioJob, an amazing instructor. There is Utkarsh's this thing also. There are other videos as well, right? If you want to learn more about DSA and stuff like that, just go to the live section. You will realize that it's not just HTML, right? We also take sessions on, in general, DSA, SQL. right? Oops, right? Prepare for DSA interviews. Power BI is there, right? Data analytics is there. JavaScript is there. SQL is there. Anything and everything that you want is actually there, right? So Fearless, I will be making the next project soon. So let's see when we can make it, right? And I feel that's about it for today then, right? Let's meet soon. And I really enjoyed taking this session with you guys, especially when you guys were so interactive. So I would like to give a shout out to Ayush, to Shekhar, to Fearless, Rampavan, Harshal, Shobana, VSS Technology, Aruni, right? My TV, Kotiki, definitely Kotiki for the last 10 minutes. Kotiki has been the only person who's been active. Shubham Raj, definitely, right? So all of you guys, I would like to give you guys a good shout out and thank you guys for making this session so interactive, so nice. And I hope to meet you guys soon. And maybe in the next month we'll be meeting each other again. Right. So that's it, guys. Enjoy your Sundays now. And we have actually had a very fruitful session this Sunday. So thank you so much. And I hope to see you again. And that is all. Right. Bye bye and take care.